The biblical myrtle tree, God's forgotten symbol of healing and restoration. Have you ever noticed how some of the greatest treasures in the Bible are not kings, prophets, or mighty mountains, but ordinary plants? A tiny mustard seed, a branch of olive, a cluster of grapes, and today a humble evergreen known as the myrtle tree. At first glance, the myrtle doesn't seem extraordinary. It isn't the tallest tree in the forest. Its wood was never used to build great temples. Its fruit never became as famous as the olive or the fig. Yet throughout Scripture, the myrtle quietly appears whenever God speaks about hope, restoration, and new beginnings. Could that be more than a coincidence? What if this forgotten biblical plant carries a message that still speaks to our lives today? Welcome back to Eden Medicine. If you've ever felt exhausted by stress, overwhelmed by life's uncertainties, or simply longed for a deeper sense of peace, this ancient tree may have more to teach us than you imagine. Today, we'll journey back through the pages of Scripture, explore the history of one of the Bible's most overlooked plants, and discover why modern researchers continue to study the remarkable natural compounds found within it. Let's begin where the story first takes root. More than 700 years before the birth of Jesus, the prophet Isaiah painted a beautiful picture of God's restoration. He wrote, "Instead of the thorn bush will grow the cypress, and instead of briars, the myrtle will grow." To modern readers, those words may simply sound poetic, but to the people of ancient Israel, they carried profound meaning. The wilderness was more than a place. It represented hardship, scarcity, loneliness, a land where little could survive. Thorns and briars symbolized the painful consequences of a broken world. The myrtle represented something completely different. It stayed green throughout the seasons. Its glossy leaves released a pleasant fragrance when gently crushed. Even in dry climates, it remained surprisingly resilient. It became a living reminder that God could replace barrenness with beauty, fear with peace, and despair with hope. That message feels just as meaningful today. Many people live surrounded by modern conveniences, yet still experience emotional exhaustion, constant anxiety, and a deep longing for rest. Perhaps the wilderness is no longer a desert of sand. Perhaps, for many of us, it has become a wilderness of endless schedules, sleepless nights, and relentless pressure. Isaiah's promise reminds us that restoration is possible, even in places that seem beyond repair. The myrtle appears again through one of the Bible's most inspiring women. Before she became Queen Esther, her Hebrew name was Hadassah. Hadassah literally means myrtle. In biblical culture, names often reflected character and purpose. Like the evergreen tree, Hadassah became a quiet symbol of faithfulness. She wasn't known for military strength. She didn't lead an army. She didn't possess political power of her own. Instead, she demonstrated courage through wisdom, patience, and unwavering trust in God. When her people faced destruction, she willingly risked her own life by approaching the king without being summoned, a decision that could have ended in death. Her courage ultimately saved an entire nation. Just as the myrtle remained green during difficult seasons, Hadassah stood firm when hope seemed almost impossible. Her story reminds us that true strength is often quiet. It grows slowly. It takes root beneath the surface, and when the moment comes, it stands firm. The myrtle also played a special role during one of Israel's happiest celebrations, the Feast of Tabernacles. Every year, families gathered branches from several different trees to build temporary shelters, remembering God's faithfulness during Israel's 40 years in the wilderness. Among those branches was the myrtle. Imagine walking through Jerusalem during the festival. Everywhere you looked, leafy shelters lined the streets. Children laughed. Families shared meals together. Songs of thanksgiving filled the air. And woven among the branches was the sweet, refreshing fragrance of myrtle leaves. The Bible never explains every reason the myrtle was chosen, but many historians believe its evergreen leaves beautifully represented God's constant care and enduring presence. Some researchers have also suggested that aromatic plants like myrtle may have helped freshen the air during large outdoor gatherings, though Scripture itself does not make that claim. Whether for symbolism, fragrance, or practical use, the myrtle became deeply connected with celebration, protection, and hope. Its message was simple. Even while living in temporary shelters, God's people remained safely under His care. That same message still echoes today. Life can feel uncertain. Circumstances change. Health comes and goes. Seasons rise and fall. Yet throughout Scripture, the myrtle quietly reminds us that God's promises remain steadfast, even when everything around us seems uncertain. But the story of the myrtle doesn't end with the Bible. Far beyond the borders of ancient Israel, physicians, herbalists, and scholars from Greece, Rome, Persia, and India also began to recognize something remarkable about this fragrant evergreen. For centuries, they carefully studied its leaves, berries, flowers, and aromatic oils, believing they offered valuable support for health and well-being. Were they simply following tradition? Or were they observing something that modern science is only now beginning to understand? Let's continue our journey. Long before laboratories, microscopes, or modern medicine, people learned to observe the natural world with remarkable care. Generation after generation, they noticed which plants seemed to comfort the body, soothe the skin, or ease breathing during times of illness. Among those treasured plants was the myrtle. In ancient Greece, physicians believed its aromatic leaves could help freshen the air and support respiratory health. The Greek physician Hippocrates, often called the father of medicine, recorded the use of various aromatic herbs, including myrtle, in traditional healing practices. Centuries later, the Roman scholar Pliny the Elder described myrtle as a valuable plant with many practical uses. Its fragrant leaves, flowers, and berries were appreciated not only for their pleasant scent, but also for their place in daily life and traditional remedies. Farther east, in traditional Ayurvedic medicine, varieties of myrtle were used for generations as part of herbal preparations intended to support balance within the body. Ancient practitioners valued aromatic plants for promoting comfort during seasonal changes and maintaining overall well-being. Across different cultures, separated by thousands of miles, one simple evergreen continued to earn respect. That doesn't necessarily prove every traditional use was correct, but it does raise an interesting question. Why did so many civilizations value the same plant? Today, modern science is beginning to explore that question. Researchers studying the leaves and berries of myrtle have identified a wide range of naturally occurring compounds, including essential oils, flavonoids, tannins, and polyphenols. Among these compounds is one with a particularly unusual name, myrtocamulone. Laboratory studies suggest that this natural substance possesses anti-inflammatory activity, encouraging scientists to investigate its possible role in supporting healthy inflammatory responses. While much of this research remains in its early stages, the findings have generated considerable interest. Myrtle is also rich in antioxidants. Why does that matter? Every day, our bodies are exposed to normal metabolic processes, environmental pollution, and other sources of oxidative stress. Over time, these processes can damage cells if the body's natural defenses become overwhelmed. Antioxidants help protect cells from that damage. Many fruits, vegetables, herbs, and spices contain these protective compounds, and myrtle is one of the plants researchers continue to investigate for this reason. Scientists have also examined myrtle's essential oil. Its fresh, clean aroma comes from naturally occurring compounds such as cineol, myrtenyl acetate, and alpha-pinene. These aromatic molecules are responsible for the distinctive fragrance that has made myrtle popular for centuries. Today, many people enjoy diffusing myrtle essential oil simply because they find its scent calming and refreshing, especially during times of seasonal discomfort or when they want to create a peaceful atmosphere at home. Researchers have also explored whether certain extracts from myrtle may help support oral health. Several laboratory studies suggest that compounds found in the plant may inhibit the growth of some bacteria, commonly associated with bad breath and dental plaque. Although brushing, flossing, and regular dental care remain essential, these findings help explain why myrtle has been included in traditional herbal mouth rinses for generations. Another area of growing interest is digestive comfort. Some early research suggests that specific myrtle preparations may help soothe irritation within the digestive tract. However, scientists emphasize that larger human studies are still needed before firm conclusions can be made. In other words, while the early evidence is encouraging, myrtle should be viewed as a supportive herb rather than a miracle cure. Perhaps that's one of the most beautiful lessons we can learn from nature. God often works through ordinary things: a seed, a stream, a loaf of bread, a simple tree growing quietly in the wilderness. The myrtle reminds us that healing is rarely dramatic. More often, it is gentle, steady, patient, just like the tree itself. So how can this ancient biblical plant fit into modern life? The answer is surprisingly simple. There are several practical ways people continue to enjoy myrtle today. Always using quality products responsibly, and remembering that natural remedies are meant to complement, not replace, appropriate medical care. Let's look at a few of the most common ways this remarkable plant is used. So, what does the biblical myrtle tree have to offer us today? While we may not gather myrtle branches to build shelters as the Israelites once did, this remarkable plant continues to be appreciated in simple, practical ways. One of the most popular uses is myrtle essential oil. Its fresh, slightly sweet herbal aroma is often used in aromatherapy. Many people enjoy diffusing a few drops in the evening to create a calm and relaxing environment before bedtime. Others use it during seasonal changes when they want to freshen the air in their homes. As with any essential oil, it should always be used according to the manufacturer's instructions and should never be applied directly to the skin without proper dilution. Another traditional use is myrtle tea. In parts of the Mediterranean, dried myrtle leaves have long been brewed into a mild herbal infusion. Many people enjoy it as a warm evening beverage, appreciating its pleasant aroma and soothing character. Although herbal teas have been part of traditional cultures for centuries, anyone who is pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or managing a medical condition should speak with a qualified healthcare professional before adding new herbs to their routine. Myrtle has also been used in traditional herbal rinses. Fresh or dried leaves can be steeped in hot water, allowed to cool, and used as a gentle mouth rinse. While this practice has a long history in herbal traditions, it should never replace regular brushing, flossing, or professional dental care. These simple uses remind us of an important truth. Nature doesn't always work in dramatic ways. Often, its greatest gifts are found in small, consistent habits practiced over time. Perhaps that's why the myrtle became such a meaningful symbol throughout Scripture. It wasn't the strongest tree. It wasn't the tallest. It didn't produce the largest fruit, yet God chose it to represent restoration. That choice speaks volumes. The world often celebrates what is loud, powerful, and impressive. But throughout the Bible, God frequently works through what seems ordinary. A shepherd defeated a giant. A tiny seed became a great tree. A child was born in a humble manger, and a simple evergreen became a symbol of hope. Maybe that's the lesson the myrtle still teaches us today. Real restoration doesn't usually happen overnight. It grows quietly, one faithful step at a time, one wise choice after another, one act of trust each day. Whether you're seeking better health, greater peace, or a deeper relationship with God, remember that lasting change often begins with small decisions made consistently. As we continue discovering the remarkable plants mentioned throughout the Bible, one message becomes clearer with every story. Creation is filled with reminders of God's wisdom. Each tree, each flower, each herb, each seed, they all point beyond themselves to the Creator who designed them. The myrtle is more than a beautiful evergreen. It is a reminder that even after seasons of hardship, life can bloom again. Even after disappointment, hope can return. And even in the wilderness, God is still at work. Thank you for joining us on today's journey through Scripture, history, and the wonders of creation. If you enjoyed this exploration of the biblical myrtle tree, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever seen a myrtle tree in person? Or is there another biblical plant you'd like us to explore in a future episode? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every comment, and many of your suggestions inspire future videos. If this video encouraged you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who enjoys learning about the Bible, natural history, and God's remarkable creation. And if you're new to Eden Medicine, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another journey into the timeless wisdom hidden within Scripture. Until next time, may your heart be filled with peace, your home be filled with hope, and may God richly bless you and your family. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.